So there we are. Well, thank you for coming. Welcome to our first live session. This is a special, very special group, a group that will be working towards the creation of a wonderful community of learning called CARIAP. I bet you all know about it, but I think we need to devote a few minutes to discovering what it is, what we can contribute to, and there's Francisco as well there. Okay, Juan Carlos as well. So Roxana has arrived as well. Okay, so if you want, I can check. Let me see. Okay. I would like to introduce you to the people who actually created this wonderful idea, this wonderful proposal. Let me show you their names. I would like to introduce you to Mariana Solís, Coordinadora Nacional del PRONI, Mexico. Mariana, would you like to tell us more about this amazing and wonderful new project?
Claro que sí. Muy buenas tardes a todas y todos. A nombre de los puntos focales de Colombia, Chile, México y Perú, que conforman la red de inglés de la Alianza del Pacífico, les damos la más cordial bienvenida a este programa de formación. Es un verdadero gusto contar con su participación y acompañarlos en el inicio de esta importante experiencia de aprendizaje y colaboración profesional. Antes de comenzar, me gustaría compartir brevemente el contexto que da origen a este esfuerzo conjunto. La Alianza del Pacífico, integrada por Colombia, Chile, México y Perú, desde 2011 surge como una iniciativa de integración regional orientada a fortalecer el crecimiento económico, el bienestar social y la competitividad de nuestros países. En este marco y con el propósito de contribuir a la reducción de las desigualdades mediante el fortalecimiento de la educación, en 2014 se creó el Grupo Técnico de Educación, desde el cual se impulsaron diversas acciones de cooperación para fortalecer la enseñanza y el aprendizaje del idioma inglés en los 4 países. Como resultado de este trabajo colaborativo, en el 2020 se oficializó la Red de Inglés de la Alianza del Pacífico, un espacio que promueve la cooperación a través de pilares estratégicos como la formación docente, la creación de redes profesionales, la investigación y la colaboración internacional. Es precisamente en este espíritu de colaboración que hoy iniciamos este programa de formación para la conformación de la comunidad de aprendizaje de la Red de Inglés de la Alianza del Pacífico, conocida como CARIAP, en el marco del proyecto denominado Fortalecer las capacidades de enseñanza del idioma inglés a través de la implementación de un plan de capacitación docente y la creación de comunidades de aprendizaje y práctica entre docentes, educadores y formadores de inglés de los países miembros de la Alianza del Pacífico. And with this context in mind, now I would like to continue in English to share the purpose of this program and acknowledge everyone who has contributed to making this initiative possible. This program aims to strengthen the pedagogical leadership skills of those who will take on the responsibility of guiding and facilitating a professional learning community where English teachers from different countries, educational settings, and realities can come together to exchange ideas, reflect, and learn from one another. We strongly believe that professional learning communities have the power to transform educational practice because they can create spaces where teachers feel heard, feel supported, and valued. They encourage the exchange of experiences, teaching strategies, resources, and good practices. They are also spaces where questions are just as important as answers and where different perspectives enrich everyone's learning. English language teaching in our countries takes place in a wide range of educational contexts. Every classroom, every school and community presents its own challenges and opportunities. For this reason, this program is based on the understanding that there are many effective ways to teach and to learn. We would especially like to thank you, the 20 pedagogical leaders participating in this program. Thank you for accepting this challenge, for the time and dedication you will bring to this process, and for the commitment you have shown for the very beginning. We would also like to express our sincere appreciation to Paula Rebolledo and Silvia Retaroli for their expertise, dedication, and continued support in the design and implementation of this program. Our gratitude also goes to the British Council Mexico for its valuable collaboration, for the professional learning opportunities it will provide, and for its ongoing support in making this initiative a reality. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity talking, and we wish you every success throughout this learning journey. Thank you, Silvia.
Thank you, Mariana. Thank you very much. That was really very clear. It enlightened us all. And I would like to take this great opportunity to, now that I think most of the people are here, to introduce the wonderful team led by Paula Rebolledo, Adriana Sanchez, Liliana Silva, and I will be working in this team as well. Paula, would you like to say hello?
Sure. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the program. My role, so as for you to know, I am working as the academic coordinator for the different initiatives of the program. And the main reason why we wanted to welcome you here is for you to know that there is a team of us that are working in this initiative, and we are all rooting for you, hoping that you really enjoy this experience and you make the most of it. And if there is anything that you need, we are here just an email away. So if you need to contact any of us for any issues regarding the program, I am the academic coordinator, but there is other members of the team that can help you in more specific things. Just let us know and we will find a way to help you. But we are here for you. We are hoping you make the best of this opportunity, and we wish you every success. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Paula. Adriana, would you like to say hello?
Oh, sure. Thank you, Silvia. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm project manager at the British Council, and together with the RIAP and Alianza del Pacífico, our academic team and technical team, we have this course possible for all of you. And we hope that you will find it enriching and rewarding. We will be on hand to support you should you need it. I wish you all the success and enjoy the course.
Thank you. Thank you, Adriana, for all your support. We definitely needed it. And last but not least, I would like to introduce you to Liliana Silva. Liliana is also a very important piece here in this wonderful team. Liliana, would you like to say hello?
Thank you, Silvia. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to this course. I'm in charge of all the technical and logistical aspects. So if at any point you have any troubles accessing any of the platforms or accessing the group, please don't hesitate to reach out, and I'm more than happy to support. Thank you.
Thank you, Liliana. Thank you very much. And of course, you are not alone. The Mexican pedagogical leaders have Mariana Solis as their main contact. Janet Montero will be your representative for the Colombian pedagogical leaders. The Peruvian pedagogical leaders, will have Sandra Mazuelos as their contact. And for Chile, as you all know, Isabel Fraile. So with whatever you need, it is us here, this team, and also the different teams in the different countries. So off we go. We have many things to do to become very effective pedagogical leaders. So thank you very much, Mariana, Paula, Adriana, Liliana, for your introductions. And if you would like to stay, you're invited and welcome, but you will have to plunge into the following tasks immediately. Otherwise, you can leave and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so thank you for coming. Thank you for being so responsive with the mail, the Google Classroom activities, the survey. I was very, very happy to read the 12 survey results. And I must say that this team of pedagogical leaders definitely rock. You all have experiences, previous experiences in professional learning communities, in teacher networks, in collaborative teacher groups. You have done a lot of work in relation to reflection and materials design. So you're well aware of what is needed when we talk about collaboration among teachers, reflection, and practical classwork. I have also noticed that you are all very keen on professional development, and you have taken this as a new opportunity for professional development, and also an opportunity to learn from others, and in particular from specialists, teachers and specialists from other countries. So that is something which came up in the different responses. The good thing is that you all bring valuable experience in leading workshops, training sessions. So the role of trainers mainly. You have also got a lot of experience in sharing and curating resources, which is something we will need to do as well in our facilitation role. You have also facilitated group discussions on different occasions, something we will definitely need, a skill that you will need throughout. And some of you have coordinated online groups, which also helps when it comes to understanding the online modality. So I feel that we are starting on the right foot. You have also considered that there are some challenges. We will face some challenges, lack of time. Teachers are all running from one school to the other. They may feel afraid of being judged, because generally this is what has always happened. Whenever you open your classroom, you feel, well, okay, I'm sharing my experiences, but will everybody take it as something I want to share, or will they assess me? And of course, the possibility, the fact is that sometimes we participate in these interactions when we don't get responses. You are also aware that that may happen, and that we need to work very thoroughly so that these things are overcome. You are very clear in the kind of support that you need, managing interaction, especially across different contexts and countries, encouraging interaction without pressure, without putting pressure on people because of lack of time and all that. And when you share resources, it should be in a meaningful way. You also mentioned that availability is another challenge, because we are all very busy, teachers and teacher trainers and teacher educators. But as long as the deadlines are clear, the participation is flexible, and there are low demand facilitation tasks, you feel you can do it. So this is the point here. We meet. We're meeting today for our first module, and we will try to cover as much as possible now, so that you don't need to devote more time to this. It might be necessary to read something or other, but I promise that for next module, you will have much more time before, right? So thank you very much as well for participating in the Getting to Know One Another activity. I think you are you have all joined the Google Classroom. Am I right? I have it. I have also joined it as another participant just to see what you can see, right? And so far we have got here the different. If you go to the Getting to Know One Another and you click on classmates' answers, you will find the different entries. Yes. Okay. Did you have time to peep into those presentations? Yeah. Anybody who has? Have you met anybody who you knew already?
No.
Yes. Okay. All right. So what are we going to do now? We're going to get to know more people, of course. Here there is, well, I wrote my my response as well, but there's Burley, there's Rosa. Rosa, we worked together in Chile very many years ago. Nati's here, Priscilla, Francisco as well. With Francisco, we designed a whole program. Remember, Francisco? What a challenge. And I know that you are still working. Yes, it was amazing. Juan Carlos, there's Luceima. Okay, so just take a look at those presentations, those introductions, and let's see if we can find any similarities, any points where we can, meet, because this is the point. Anything that we share as a team of pedagogical leaders, concerns perhaps, interests, not challenges. Yes. So just spend a couple of minutes, right? And take a look at this, because you know that when we look at this type of activities, we know that apart from the fact that, yes, there is a point where we want to socialize with others, we also, when we do this in professional learning communities, we don't only use it for a social, it's not only a social moment, right? In professional learning communities, this kind of introductory activity lends itself for other purposes, right? So from this first reading, what do we get from the participants? What do you think? Any volunteer? What information do we get in a professional learning community? Yes, Francisco.
Yeah, so for example, as I was reading the answers and I was comparing mine, I see a lot of enthusiasm for all the participants. I answer my question, my activity without paying much attention, but I'm really enthusiastic. But I could tell that
No, es que el agua no me gustó, era muy dulce.
Yes.
we share a lot of things in common. And I see, like how important is education for other people besides me.
So the value of education, right? You have found a similarity. The enthusiasm as well, enthusiasm for being part of this. So when we engage our the teachers who will join this group, when we engage them in this kind of activity, we want to make sure that they are here for a certain purpose, right? That they understand why they're here. And so one thing we need to know then with these activities is who is participating? How do they feel about this? Also, we see people from different contexts, right? People who teach different levels. You talked about working in a vulnerable context, Francisco, didn't you? Right. So what else do we get? What other pieces of information do we get about the participants? Or at least, what is it that we need to find out? Who is participating? How do they feel about participating? What else do we need? Any volunteer? As pedagogical leaders, you will need a lot of information from the participants. Who is participating? What context they come from? Yes, Francisco.
Yeah, I was going to say it's very important to get to know their context, their challenges, uh, like things that we can have in common, like the good things and the challenging things as well, because in that way we can direct the conversation and we can find purposes and things that are that can have this community more vibe, like really connected to each other.
Exactly. It's not just because that you have been selected. Yes, specialists from Chile, specialists from Colombia, specialists from Peru, specialists from Mexico, to act as pedagogical leaders in a group, in a professional learning community where teachers from those 4 countries will be invited, mainly because you know what they mean by the contexts they describe. So who is participating, what contexts they come from, and what it means to be a teacher in those contexts, right? And what else will we need to know? Maybe you can go back to the different presentations in our community, because they have a lot of information that we might want to get. One of the important things is the challenges that the teachers face or have to face in the classrooms. So not just the good things, but also those that, well, they will need some support. Anything else? Anything else that comes from your analysis?
Hello. I would like to say that it is also important to know the experiences and practices that they do, and in order to get more resources, because depending on the context that we can share positive experiences, but as you were saying before, the challenges. And when we talk about those practices that we have, maybe other teachers can help us to improve. And this is also an opportunity to know what are the needs and the interests that they have in common, or that we have in common. And another thing that it's important is to take in mind that when I was reading what you show us, it seems that we came from different educational backgrounds. So it is necessary to know how diverse is teaching and it can create opportunities to share experiences, and this is what I imagine.
Exactly. It's exactly what you're saying. Their background, their prior experiences and what they would like to learn, right? Because they have these ideas and these concepts very clear in mind. I also think that we should also find out what they can contribute with, right? These experiences that you mentioned, Shirley, these are things that they learned in their education or in their practice, and they can share with others. But we need to know that we do need that information. The same way that we also needed all the information you shared in our Google Classroom. And also, I think that we also need to know how we can learn from one another. I mean, not only what I can learn from you, but also how. And I feel that as pedagogical leaders, we will be a great help to these teachers, the CARIAP teachers, the teachers who will join this group, which is supported by Facebook for logical purposes. Facebook is a very common network and something everybody knows how to use. But Facebook is just that. What will make this a professional learning community is what we can do with all we know. Yes, Francisco.
Yes, I was going to say that it is very important that communities nowadays have this opportunity to expand their mutual knowledge. Like, how do I know the colleagues I'm working with, and how do I know the context of my colleagues and the other professionals I'm interacting with? Because nowadays, communities are not something that you find everywhere. IA is doing everything for us, and the like this interaction is missing, and this is something that is very important to create a real community. Otherwise, people work independently and there is no room for innovation, for research, for exchanging what's better for your context, or this is working for me. um, we are living in a very fast world. Everything is automatic, everything is there for you to consume, a lot of consumption and things like that. And we don't have much reflection, we don't have many opportunities to expand our knowledge using other people's, practices, effective practices. So I think when you are creating a community, getting to know each other, it's a big step to make this community more connected and to give room for everyone. Everyone has a voice. And in this way, we make the difference and the distinction between the knowledge we are creating or the experiences we are planning for our kids, for our students, in comparison with what's automatic. So creating a community, building up a community has to do with the way you want to belong to somewhere. And if you want to belong to somewhere, you need to tell who you are and you need to listen to who other people are.
Exactly. And that is will be our big challenge, right? What does AI know about my context? Nothing, nothing at all. I know about my context. I know about my students. I know about my teachers, and I can help them get to know much more than they can even think of. And that's the point. That's the real point. So so we are working with two communities. This is a closed community, 4 countries, 5 specialists per country, working, getting ready so that we welcome this other community. We are also going to be part of this other community, the CARIAP community. But for that, we need to get things started, right? And in these modules, what we will be doing with building up all the knowledge we need, capacity, so that the CARIAP community starts growing and becomes a sound and solid community of teachers across these 4 countries. So, Module 1. In Module 1, we are aiming at all these learning outcomes. Just take a quick look. Don't worry if you don't remember them, because I will show them out again in a piecemeal fashion. So you can see that we are very ambitious in our aims. It's not just 1 or 2 things. We are aiming at understanding and doing. That's what we are going to do here. So interpret, identify, explain, analyze, evaluate, see all the different cognitive activities we're going to engage in today. And these are the contents for this module. The modules is mainly like the introductory module, talking about CARIAP, talking about learning communities in general, Facebook as a space, only the space where the community will be hosted, and then you and me, the pedagogical leaders, and what we need to know about this new role. Maybe it's not new for you, but at least CARIAP pedagogical leader, this is a new creation. So first things first, let's start by the very first learning outcome. And to do this, yes, to interpret CARIAP's purpose, audience, expected forms, I will give you some time to remember what you prepared for today. In the pre-live session tasks, there were 3 questions that led your reading, that guided your reading of some of the material. Well, in this case, it was a special document that RIAP prepared for you. So I'll give you a minute or 2 so that you get your notes ready. I bet you have them at hand. Well, probably paper, I still have my notes on paper, probably in the computer. So just take a look at those notes and get ready, because we're going to use those notes for a certain activity. Okay. I've got my notes already. I hope you got them as well. So the 3 questions you were expected to answer were: what is CARIAP? What is it for? And what participation is expected? And when we talk about participation, we talk about pedagogical leaders' participation, teachers' participation. All right? Okay. So, ready to go? Well, this is the first activity. And for this activity, I will place you in groups. There are 3 statements with some blank spaces. We have sentence starters here. If you want, you can take a picture of the 3 sentence starters. If not, you can go to the Google Classroom. In the Google Classroom, in Module 1 live session, you will find this. But if you want to take a picture of the sentence starters, it's fine. As you can see, you will need to work in groups, and with the help of the notes you have made and with all your previous experience as pedagogical leaders or facilitators in communities, you're going to complete each one contrasting a possible misunderstanding with a more accurate idea, right? So as I get the groups ready, could anybody tell me what you are supposed to do in groups?
Sorry, we are supposed to share what we have answered previously and to contrast this information?
Exactly. You will need the information you collected to complete these sentence markers. Okay, the groups are ready. I'm going to open the rooms. I suppose it's random, so I don't know whether it's same country, different country. It's a random option. So off you go. You will have 6 minutes to do this. In 6 minutes time, you'll come back and we will move on to the next activity. Enjoy it. Cynthia and Gerardo, have you been able to join? Okay, great. Burley and Shirley, Natty and Rosa are waiting for you. Great, lovely. I think, Lady, you are still here. Do you mind moving into the group? Thank you. Let's see. Shall I help you? Lady, are you there? Can you hear me? I'm afraid you are still here. I would need you to join the group if you can. Lady Adriana, can you hear me? I will visit the groups. Okay, great.
CARIAP is not only. I'm gonna check the document.
Do you need any help?
I have doubts with the first one because maybe it's like too general. Like I could say CARIAP is not only a community, is I don't know, something related to the strength and I forgot.
Okay. If you cannot think of the misunderstanding that people may have, then just move on. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't get stuck.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for your work. I know that some people had some issues with the sharing screen. I'm sorry for that, but I noticed that you were all very busy looking for the characteristics, the main characteristics a learning community should have. All right. So let's come to some conclusions. There are some criteria that a learning community needs to have in order to become a professional learning community and not just a Facebook group. What about the shared professional purpose? would you say that it does have a purpose, a shared professional purpose? Does it partly have it or not at all? Let's see. The group, Juan Carlos group, would you like to share your views?
Yeah. According to the first point, we spoke about it, and we think that it has a shared professional purpose. It is mentioned in in the information part of the group when it says that it is a group that support the professional development of teachers. Um, it says that encourages everyone to learn from each other and diverse teaching context also.
Great. So if that appears there, it is I would say then, it is a professional learning community. Now we have to think of CARIAP. When we create our CARIAP community, there must be a clear shared professional purpose. And that would be, from what you know already, from what you have read already, what would be the shared professional purpose? Yes, Juan Carlos or whoever?
Of the CARIAP?
Of CARIAP.
CARIAP?
To improve the teaching practice of teachers of English across 4 countries through collaboration, discussion,
right,
ongoing.
Right, exactly. Because the British Council purpose was to continue the discussion that they started in the course. All these people have enrolled in a certain teaching English course, and so they need a place to discuss the different concepts. We have a different purpose, but we need to share it with the community. Great, thank you. What about teacher exchange and collaboration? That is another criteria that we need to take care of. Any views about this other criteria? What about the Facebook group we discussed? Yes, Carla.
Well, I don't know. I think that these sort of words are very tricky when it comes or when they are being applied to online platforms because I mean you can even see the word community being applied to WhatsApp groups. At least that's the new setting here for Mexican users of WhatsApp, where there is the so-called word community. And to me, that's just not true because they somehow want to make you feel part of something. But well, as I was scrolling through this group, I could notice that all the posts were made by a certain administrator, and there were no posts made by teachers. You know, the only thing that they can do is comment. They comment, they can react, they can join their live streams, but there is no exchange. And I would say that this criterion is not fulfilled there because it lacks teacher exchange and collaboration. And as for the previous one, the shared professional purpose, I would say that only partly because, yes, they all are English teachers, or so we assume. Because I mean, like the filter, I would say that is not enough. They just ask whether you are aware of what that group is for, what the purpose is. But well, okay. Uh, they don't even know their contexts. So how can someone share a professional purpose only very broadly? You know, like, okay, so yes, we want to improve English teaching in our schools, but now where is your school? What are your students like? Who are you teaching? What are your surroundings? What's your infrastructure? So all those things I'm thinking about. And for the first criterion, I would say partly yes. And for the second one, no.
Of course, I understand. In our case, in CARIAP's community, Well, we will probably not open the possibility of publishing a post by the teachers. For the time being, it will be us, pedagogical leaders, interpreting their needs, their challenges, and posting and coming up with discussion posts out of our interpretation. But what happens while they are commenting, that is something we need to facilitate, right? It's not just that, okay, we post a question and comments come along. What are we going to do with those comments? How are we going to foster further discussion as from the comments made there? So that poses a new challenge for us. If these are the criteria, how are we going to work on this as pedagogical leaders, right? So you have made a real clear point. I think that the purpose is clear in the sense that this is the discussion place, the space where they discuss what they have learned in the course. It's not more than that. Probably they have a limited purpose. What about the other groups and the other criteria? What about reflection on practice? Have you noticed anything of the sort? Do they?
Well,
Yes.
I was seeing that there are a lot of posts that are questions, and the administrators also invite teachers to post their own questions. But I guess they have to do it through them.
Exactly.
So they curate a content and then choose the best questions that they think they are the ones that can make more impact on the teachers, I think.
Of course.
Because they have to select material. So that's one of the things that I liked, they consider what the participants or members contribute. But what I didn't see is that a lot of moderating or building like a woven message with all the contributions. And I think that maybe it is because there are so many contributions. So I guess it is like impossible to take all the messages and write like or post like a conclusion for the post. So I think that is something that is missing there.
Okay.
But
so probably in the CARIAP community, we may have this phenomenon as well. How would you deal with it?
Well, I wouldn't know how to do it because I haven't done anything like this before. But I guess that groups like this with so many people, they must have rules for this. For example, once you have reached this number of posts, you have to do this and that. I don't know. Maybe there is something like that.
Okay. And I particularly like the point that you bring about the rules, because that is how leadership is manifested, right? Facilitation and leadership. Well, if it is well moderated, if it's well organized, then the group feels like coming back, right? So we need to work on that. We need to work on that. In CARIAP, we need to also bear this in mind. We may have, I don't know, millions of posts. What are we going to do? How are we going to organize our time, our availability to read and facilitate further discussion, right? And thinking and further thinking during the time available, right? So these are points that we need to bear in mind. Great. Any other criteria that you considered? The other groups? would you like to comment on that? For trust and inclusion, professional learning over time. Do you think that the activities lead to deep learning over time, professional learning over time?
You mean the activities that are posted in the
Yes.
Facebook group?
Yes.
I don't know. To me, they seem more like this sort of scrolling that happens in social media where you briefly engage with something and then you forget it. And then you forget it if you don't discuss or exchange or confront your ideas with someone else. For example, oh, you know what? I found this. Because I honestly don't think that a lot of teachers are sharing those posts with their coworkers, with their fellow teachers. In that, if they were sharing them, at least we could tell that, oh, some sort of inquiring is being built upon that. But I don't know. I think that learning only happens when you put hands on, when it's a hands-on thing. And when you're able, well, we all know this, when you're able to explain what you've just learned, okay, phrasing it in the very way you understood it. And I'm not sure that can happen, at least not in an online group. As Miss Rosa, I think, was saying earlier, these forums, these small groups certainly help because, face-to-face interaction, even when it's online, uh, has a certain dynamic or has a very different dynamic.
Exactly. Now, how do we create all this in our CARIAP group? These are the questions that we need to ask ourselves to make sure that we don't fall into the trap of having a Facebook group just where people socialize. Yes, Rosa.
Well, I was thinking about something that I learned many, many years ago. That was the types of education that we have, and something like there was informal education and formal education. I don't know if you remember that when you studied to be a teacher. And I think that this is kind of informal education, even though you may post something. For example, I belong to a group. Maybe my colleagues from Chile belong to that group, a Facebook group that is English teachers in Chile, I guess. And there is a lot of exchange of information there. And I have participated, I have posted many things and all that. And I have learned many things there, not to be a teacher, but I don't know, web pages that might be interesting for students, how to practice pronunciation with my students, what are the latest documents from the Mineduc that we need to use and all that. So I guess that this is not like the kind of education that we are going to receive in a classroom, in a master's degree program, or in when we are preparing to be teachers, but it's another type of education. And it may be very useful for us because all of the participants in these groups are teachers and are work with the students. And that makes the collaboration or the contributions more valuable because they are from people that have the experience.
Exactly.
So I think that even though it is a very minimal post that you're going to share with other person, and that other person is going to read it and to say, okay, I'm going to try this new web page, for example. That's learning, I think.
Okay, great. And our role will be to make sure that everybody profits from that post. And we can ask further questions so that this keeps going. So it's not a Facebook group. It's not a digital platform. It is not a place where you only get information. It's a place where the information you get is meaningful to you, where the resources that are shared can be used. And that is the challenge we have as pedagogical leaders, to turn this into something that will be deep learning in the sense that it will change the status of information into knowledge. So that is our big challenge. And I would like to move on to the next one, which is a very quick activity. Considering the criteria we have discussed, for CARIAP to become a professional learning community, it should, and you will share your views in a Padlet. I will share the link in a second. And for CARIAP to avoid becoming just a Facebook group, it should not. So let me give you the link to the Padlet so that you can complete it with all this information that you have and all the ideas that you have shared in your groups. I'm going to ask you to go to that Padlet. The Padlet is now in the chat, and add at least one idea in each of the columns. Okay. I'm going to open the Padlet as well. Do you have it? Did I copy it correctly?
I think it's a different link.
I didn't copy it correctly. Now, I think it didn't copy the right link. Yes, now we have the Padlet in the chat. And let me see if I can also open it. Yes, now I have also opened it, and I will share it. Let's see. There. I will share it and see what is going on. Okay, I don't know if I'm sharing it. No, I'm not sharing it yet. I'm going to share it now. Okay, so considering your notes after all the notes you've made with all the reading material you have read, considering the activity we have just done, where we assessed a Facebook group that defines itself as a learning community. Now, what about CARIAP? For CARIAP to become a professional learning community, it should, and Francisco says, reflect its members' needs. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see. It's important that we make this community grow as well, right? And it will grow as long as we are there fostering the participation, having clear roles. So for CARIAP to avoid becoming just a Facebook group, it should not be a place with useless content. The word useless there is a key word. Thank you very much, Francisco. Rosa, for CARIAP to become a professional learning community, it should have a clear purpose. So remember, purpose. Clear rules. And that shows how good leaders you are. And a defined audience. So who will be participating? And defined roles. Everybody should know what is expected of each of us. because you as pedagogical leaders will play the role of facilitating dialogue, and the teachers will be playing the role of sharing experiences, asking questions, sharing resources. Great. Any other? Let's see, I will move it there. No, I can see it. I see a lot of people writing there. There's some dots at the top. So this is very important, that we make sure that what we create, the CARIAP community we create, is born with a clear purpose in mind, with clear roles, with the aim of promoting teacher exchange, teacher reflection, professional development over time. Okay, here we have another one. Let's see. Be a place for us to reflect about our teaching practices in order to improve them. So it's the place we look for to reflect, because there are other teachers who are also reflecting upon their own practices, and what they think can help me think differently. Great. Thank you. Any other? Okay, it should not look disorganized. It should have a structure, clear spaces, subsections where the teachers can find, I don't know, the resources they need, the input, the media, the videos they can use, and the discussion. And the discussion as well needs to be organized around a certain topic, presented in an appealing way. Any other? Okay. I still see a lot of people writing. So what we have done just now is read and learn about learning communities, professional learning communities. We analyzed an example of one that is defined as a learning community, and we applied a set of criteria to assess it. Cynthia says that for CARIAP to become a professional learning community, it should be as practical as possible for those teachers who have more than one job. Yes, definitely. So practical, short, and very precise and to the point, considering their needs, what Francisco had mentioned before. Thank you, Carla. It should foster critical thinking. So there is where the pedagogical leader comes in, promoting deep learning, critical thinking, as a reminder of the social sense of education. This is what gathers us. This is what brings us together. Excellent. And Roxana adds that it should share good information, useful, something that they can take into the classroom and use, information, resources, and good practices as well. That's why bringing in not just questions to answer, but also scenarios where that resemble what happens in their classrooms, can also promote a lot of thinking and a lot of discussion. And Shirley says that it should not be limited to only one facilitator who always announces information without allowing different members to ask questions. Okay, so it's not a one way. We need to work collaboratively. We need to engage others in promoting new topics, new discussions, and of course, making sure that all these discussions foster further learning, further improvement. Okay, thank you very much. Of course, you can continue with this as soon as you write. I will see it, don't worry. I would like to go back and move on to our diary entry 2. In just one sentence, please try to synthesize all we have seen. CARIAP will function as a professional learning community when you will notice in a second that the diary entry appears in the Google Classroom. I have to make sure that it appears now. There we are. Great. There we are. Now it is there. You can go and you can open it. Oh, there are more contributions in the Padlet. Thank you very much, Cynthia. When it shouldn't have ghost people. Well, this is a challenge. There is always a lurker or two in the groups. There are always people who read but don't participate. But we will make sure that everybody participates. We will find a way to encourage them, definitely. Thank you, Cynthia, for your contribution. And also somebody else says that it should identify the needs and interests of our community. So with all this information, now it is time to reflect in our diary. Go to the diary, open it, and complete. CARIAP will function as a professional learning community when that's all you have to do. You may refer to the role of teachers, you may refer to the role of pedagogical leaders, you may refer to the importance of trust, collaboration, and reflection, or the difference between professional learning community or just a Facebook group. Whatever you decide, it's okay. It's your view of what we consider a professional community and why CARIAP will function. When is it that it will function as a professional learning community? Okay, so while I wait for your contributions, I will share this as well. Okay. So this is again evidence of learning, evidence of your discussions here in this closed group of specialists, thinking in terms of CARIAP as a professional learning community, using criteria to assess it, or at least to bear in mind when we actually create it and we actually launch it. So while you're writing, so CARIAP will function as a professional learning community when Okay, thank you, Francisco. So you have already submitted it when it offers solutions and innovative answers to questions that have not been able to answer. Good. When it focuses on practical and useful content, those two words, practical and useful, they should serve as our criteria for assessment. Great. Okay. While the rest are waiting, are writing, sorry. Okay, Rosa has also included the word trust there. Okay, feel free to complete it. After diary entry number 2, we're going to check if we have achieved our learning outcome, identify key characteristics of a professional learning community, explain how these characteristics can support teacher exchange, reflection and professional development. Thumbs up, thumbs down, I don't know. What do you think? Have we achieved the learning outcomes? Yes. Yes, we have. Okay, great. And as you have, we're going to have a 5-minute break so that you get a cup of coffee, you move around, and when we come back, we're going to do the rest of the activities. I will make them shorter. I promise. Don't worry. These two were really long, but the next activities will be shorter. So see you in 5 minutes. Time for the coffee, right? Okay, I will say 10 to, 10 past. Yes? Now it's 03. So 10 past, we are meeting again. See you. Okay, we are back here. Thank you for completing diary entry number 2. Now we will plunge straight into the pedagogical leader. And I had planned a few activities to discuss your role more thoroughly, but well, I'm kind of short of time, so we will probably comment on the different scenarios rather than discover them. I meant to ask you to discuss the types of intervention that actually happen when training, mentoring, and facilitating. In fact, there is a difference between training, mentoring, and facilitating. Now, why does CARIAP need pedagogical leaders who facilitate participation, connect ideas, and sustain professional dialogue? Right? Why, considering the types of intervention in any education, teacher education program, why does CARIAP need pedagogical leaders who do this, who facilitate participation, who connect ideas, and who sustain professional dialogue? Any volunteer? Probably there is quite a lot of training, or there are quite a lot of training programs already in your contexts. Probably there are some mentoring programs, at least in Chile, that were already working very nicely in your countries. Now, what about facilitating communities of learning like CARIAP?
Well, I don't know. I think that facilitation strategies mean that there is some sort of space where teachers can be gathered, because honestly, sometimes that's sort of difficult, at least here in the context where I'm in, which is escuelas normales. Those are like teacher training schools in Mexico City. Sometimes it can be very, very difficult to have them gather in a room. So probably when you become a facilitator, you're also capable of, well, I don't know, like creating a schedule for them and asking for permission so that they can participate. You know, they can participate, make part of those strategies, and I think that that's why CARIAP plays a very important role, because there are lots of teachers everywhere, not only English teachers, but teachers of several disciplines. And they need to find a comfortable, safe space, productive one where they can all put together their ideas. Yes, otherwise they'll be just working by themselves, like in isolated efforts. And that's probably not the best thing to do for someone that works in such an important profession.
Okay, and so the CARIAP will need you because you will be developing skills and you will be learning techniques that will facilitate the community interaction, invite participation, the connection of ideas, create open dialogue, and sustain exchange. This is the main point why we are all here today.
I have a question regarding that, sorry.
Yes.
Regarding the difference between mentoring and facilitation, because, for example, in Colombia, we have a program that is named PTA, Programa Todos Aprender. And the idea of the program is that there is a teacher who facilitates like the building of communities in the school. When it started, it was for primary school, and now since last year it changed, and now secondary school teachers are also involved, and we are creating communities inside the schools for students to choose their interests. For example, in my case, I am the leader of the English team, so we created this year an English club. And obviously, we need to generate ideas and to reflect about what we have done and to just not create a community just because it was mandatory, but because we knew that there were some needs in our community and that our students needed to improve their skills. And I really like that because all teachers are involved. Even though we are English teachers, there are some Spanish teachers who are involved in the club because they want to improve their knowledge. And this is something that we have done in the school. And so I'm not sure if that is mentoring, because there was a teacher who was like helping us to create our centers of interest, or if this is a facilitate.
Well,
He was a facilitator. I am confused between that.
A mentor will work more in a more personalized way, considering a personal need. Maybe in the CARIAP community, we will all be facilitating. We will all be creating the conditions so that the dialogue is fostered, so that there is exchange of ideas, so that there's deep learning. But maybe you notice that a certain teacher needs a certain kind of help for a certain situation, and at that point you decide to help as a mentor. That wouldn't be your main role. Your main role will be that of facilitator. But as you are being a teacher and a specialist, you can adapt to those situations, right? So you will be working as a mentor on that particular occasion. Sometimes you will be a trainer, right? But in general, our role demands the facilitation role, which means creating the conditions so that learning happens and promoting that the exchange, the teacher exchange, is what really creates or fosters the development, right? So that would be it. But we may have to devote some time to mentoring or training. And that's how the possible scenarios, this new slide comes, because you have different scenarios. For example, number one, for me, I wrote it here. Number one is facilitation, definitely. But take number three. Number three could be mentoring as well. Mentoring or facilitation. What about the other scenarios? Can you determine the type of intervention needed? Is it training? Is it mentoring? Or is it facilitation? Any volunteer? Choose one possible scenario and tell me. Have you found any other scenario that will demand a facilitation type of intervention? Yes, Shirley?
A different scenario from this, yeah?
No, one of these.
Okay, one of these. For example, several teachers say they do not understand how to design a rubric for speaking. Yeah? For me, that it depends on the number of teachers, because if most of the teachers at school don't know, so I can design like a training session
Of course,
to
of course.
to listen to their doubts, and then to just facilitate like a form for them, like to go step by step and how to create and to show models and that.
Okay, so
But if there are like few
Mhm,
teachers,
mhm.
it can be just like I can mentor them, like to help
Yeah.
them. Yeah, so it depends on the number.
If it's a very small group, mentoring might be the solution, but it's a larger group, they might need more of a modeling, more of a some kind of training organization. Great. But you wouldn't include this in a community because you wouldn't be able to engage, to create the conditions for them to exchange ideas. They will need input. They will need your modeling. That's why it's training. Great. What about scenario 4? What do you think?
I think that it's facilitation.
Exactly. Why?
It's
What
like
what does the leader do there?
it's like acting like when you are a mom and you have two children that are fighting with each other. So you have to try to find the common grounds, maybe
You organize the
try
conversation.
to acknowledge
Yes, exactly.
every teacher's contribution, but to point out, for example, the different contexts. So, and then after that, try to come to an agreement or something like that.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
there's no more building up this these differences,
Of course.
and try to find a common ground between the two.
So, as pedagogical leaders, you may find yourself in this situation where you need to organize the conversation, come up with, well, these are the main points or the common points, look for similarities, make sure that, well, we always find the positive side of it. It's a challenge for you pedagogical leaders, but it is very, it's a creative kind of activity. It's not something repetitive. Great. So, as pedagogical leaders, we need to determine what kind of intervention is necessary at certain, well, depending on the needs, depending on the interests, and certain points of the community. I will ask you then to do this, because if not, I'm going to take up too much time. It's a diary entry 3. I am going to include it later. And it goes on like this. In a community like CARIAP, facilitation means. So we have talked about training, we have talked about mentoring, and we have talked about facilitation. And we have described some possible scenarios and what kind of role and responsibility the pedagogical leader has to take. I know that we haven't been able to analyze all the scenarios, but at least we have considered that there are different situations that require facilitation, mentoring, and training. The next one is related to facilitator moves. I don't think we will have much time to do a lot, but at least I want to remind you of something that you had to read for today. There is a reading material that talks about the role of the pedagogical leader. It might be useful to read it again and prepare a kind of mind map. Because considering the roles, well, you may use metaphors to describe them. Can you pinpoint the different metaphors, how the pedagogical leader is described, how the role is described? What can you see in the pictures? The pedagogical leader as a, what can you see?
As a farmer or something?
Yes, a gardener. And what does a pedagogical leader as a gardener do? What does the gardener do, considering the pedagogical leader's role?
So, well, in most cases, a gardener would plant a seed into the soil and, of course, nurture it, water it, which in this case can mean a lot of things, right? A seed can be curiosity,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Curiosity, and we can nurture that or water that by using probably guided discovery.
So you are creating the right conditions for that seed to grow, but you cannot make the seed grow. You need to create all the necessary conditions for that knowledge, for those skills, for those techniques to grow in the teachers. And that is the metaphor of the gardener. What about the other two metaphors? Any volunteer?
Well, the one above, the one in the middle, I
Yes.
think that's like a bridge.
Yes.
Of course,
It's a bridge builder, kind of. The pedagogical leader as a bridge builder. And what does a bridge builder do?
well, he or she would connect 2 points that were until then completely disconnected. Um, and that's it.
Remember, I think Rosa mentioned earlier that sometimes those long posts full of ideas, well, we will be connecting those threads and making sense of what the teachers have said, so that in spite of coming from different contexts, from different countries, there is a common core as far as education is concerned, ELT, that we can always envision or we can uncover. So we will help teachers make these connections, establish the relationship between the different practices and come and make them become aware of this. Great. And there is a third one. Anybody else? Yes, barely. Which is the third metaphor?
Sure. I think that this is a way of being connecting to many educational initiatives that started in high level of academic. So when everything is said, there is a wide separation between the theory and practice. So as leaders, we have to look for the good way or build for initiatives to get started in high level academic to theory and practice. So our role as a facilitator is to build these kind of strategies work well from the theory down to a real world classroom floor.
So the thread weaver is connecting individual comments so that we come to a shared professional conversation. So everybody's participating and everybody's making a contribution. That is something we need to make sure that they feel they are making a contribution. So notice how important the role of the pedagogical leader is, not only metaphorically speaking, but literally speaking. I will also include a new diary entry number 4, where you will come up with another metaphor and explain it. Like in CARIAP, the facilitator is like, and whatever you want to say, because. And this means that a pedagogical leader should, and this is the recommendation. And although I'm rushing now, I would like to come to the last activity because we have to get the posts ready. And the posts are for the discussion, to make sure that there is discussion. A good post has a clear purpose, is short and easy to read, connects with teachers' classroom experience, invites a simple response, encourages teachers to interact with one another, uses inclusive language, considering the different countries' context, has a professional but friendly tone, feels realistic for busy teachers, supports reflection, exchange, or peer learning, and helps CARIAP work as a learning community, not only as a Facebook group. So I'm going to show you some posts. Let me see if and you will tell me which would be the most suitable one. Wait, hold on a second. I'm going to stop sharing so that I can bring it up and share it with you. I had it here, but now I cannot find it. Okay. So I bet you will soon discover which they are because, wait a minute. Okay. Because of the criteria. The criteria I have given you are the criteria we're going to use throughout whenever we assess a new post. So keep the criteria at hand. Let me share the document with you. I have included the criteria as well. Okay, sample posts. Here it is. So there is a scenario as well. I'm going to share this by, hold on, in the chat box. Where is the chat box? Okay. So I'm going to show it to you as well. Here it is. So you will be in charge of designing the posts. This is the scenario. CARIAP is starting as a Facebook-based professional learning community. Before planning future discussions, pedagogical leaders need to understand what teachers are experiencing in their classrooms. This post will work as a simple needs analysis. Teachers' answers will help identify common challenges. Remember, I think Francisco at the very beginning, he said, well, what do I need to know? I need to know what challenges the teachers face. So, considering the scenario, considering the instructions that you have Facebook posts, considering the checklist that I have just read, which post would be most suitable? And you have post 1, post 2, post 3, post 4. Considering the scenario that we want to find out about their teachers' needs, about their challenges, about what they would really be interested in learning about. Teachers' answers will help identify common challenges. Exactly what Francisco said at the beginning. We need to know where they are and what is worrying them, what their main concerns are. And you have post 1, post 2, post 3, and post 4. Just take a look and tell me which would be the most suitable post in your opinion. Any volunteers?
Well, I don't know, but I think that post number 2 and post number 3 are the most friendly one. Yes, the friendliest ones, probably.
Okay, so here we
And
have.
they are very approachable, I think, and
Okay.
very practical. I think that when you're getting started doing something, teachers or people in general do not really feel like talking or sharing much about themselves. So I think that using emojis is a pretty good way to break the ice among them and probably then start with deeper reflections, which I think is what happens with post number 1 and post number 4.
Good. Yes.
Yes.
Number 1 is I mean, it is too general, isn't it? Post number 1
Yeah.
is absolutely in general. It's not specific. Remember that we want to have some information about the challenges that these teachers face in their classrooms, so that then we can start building the material for the new posts or for the new input or the new resources that we want to share with them. Okay, so we also said that number 4 is too long, too disconnected. I mean, it's not.
Seems like homework.
Yes, I mean, I wouldn't definitely even read it as a post. But now we have to decide on whether we would choose post 2 or 3, or whether we might want to make changes to these posts.
Well, I think post number 2 would give information also, of course, about the challenge, but those challenges are going to tell a lot about the context of the teachers. So, for example, I don't know if if a teacher says I have problems with working with technology because I live in a rural area or something like that. Maybe I would know immediately the context of that teacher, but I would make post 2 and 3 one
into one. Okay.
Yeah, but into one, yes.
Good.
Because I think that the emotions are very important here, and maybe you can get more to the teacher, or you can know more about the teachers when you are interested about how they feel about
Great.
their teaching practice.
Write this down, Rosa, so that you don't forget that you would bring these two together and the reasons why you would do that. Good point. Yes, Bert. Sorry, Rosa, yes.
That's it. I would make just one with the 2.
Merge. You would merge 2 and 3 for those reasons. For those 2 reasons. One, because you want to have a clear purpose so that the reader, the teacher, knows what you expect. And the other, because you want to build trust and establish a closer connection with the teacher. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Burley, what would you say?
Yes, I also choose post number 2, the second one, because it helps identify teachers' needs or challenge. So it's more specific. It targets challenge explicitly, which serves as a natural diagnostic tool. It is also like it uses phrases like, for example, let's listen to our classroom. So it's evocative, respectful, and brings the focus back to their students and practice. That's why, in my opinion, the second one. But when we talk, for example, a general view about talking about post number 1, I think it's a generic welcome message, you know. Talking about the fourth one is overwhelming. So, but in my opinion, the second one is what I choose.
Okay, great. So I think we have come to a clear decision as to what kind of posts, we want to include, why it is suitable, why it invites the teachers to do something, because that is what we need. We need to encourage them to have this professional exchange. And of course, you can always improve them considering the criteria at hand. I will also include a a diary entry where you will not just have the post, because the post, you have already kind of created it, so that you keep for your future use a short reusable template that you can adapt for when writing future posts. So what do we always need to include? Well, purpose, the purpose. We should always be short and easy. It should connect to classroom experience. So what kind of template are we going to write so that next time we write a post, we bear this in mind? This question of the feelings, this question of the trust we want to create, that the teacher doesn't feel judged. What kind of words are we going to include? So that would be diary entry number 5. And let me tell you, yes, I think that we rushed through this, so I don't know whether we have achieved this fully. That all you have done today will help you when you complete your portfolio tasks, because the diary entries are short reflections, analysis of what you have learned. So while you're writing the diary, that will be there for you to resort to when you complete your portfolio tasks. As to participation in CARIAP community, the community is still being created, but what you can add here is the screenshots of the Padlet, for example, or of the contribution in the getting to know each other. So the screenshots will show that you have participated in today in this community, right? In the future, when the Facebook group is created, you will take screenshots of your participation in the Facebook group. As to the product, well, the concrete output developed in the module. In this particular case, in module 1, it is the post. The post that Rosa suggests creating with number 2 and number 3. Or somebody would say, I will take number 2, but I will add this or that. That would be the product of the module 1. And the toolkit contribution is the template, that template that I was telling you about. So the point here is that throughout the modules, we will be collecting evidence, keeping a record, producing materials that you will then use when you start facilitating in the Facebook group, in our community of learning. Now, I'm rushing, I'm sorry. I know that we devoted more time to the first 2 learning outcomes, but how do you feel all in all? Do you think we have achieved our objectives? Do you feel that you are in a better position now, knowing about CARIAP, the main characteristics it should have, the scenarios where you will probably find yourself, your facilitators' moves, what kind of participation you will have, and well, now you have some sample posts and the criteria. To what extent do you feel you have achieved the learning outcomes? You can use a reaction, of course. You can write in the chat, because there will be an exit ticket. In fact, in the live session, there is an exit ticket. Yes, Verly, it's okay? The rest? Okay. Thank you, Cynthia. Yes, go ahead.
Well, I think that I feel right now more calm because at the beginning I didn't have any idea what this was about, but now I feel more confidence about what we are going to do in this group, and of course that I know that everyone is learning. We are going to learn from others that have a great experience, from you that you share your ideas and your knowledge also. And I think that for me it's the objective was reached.
Okay.
Thank you so much to everyone.
Thank you very much. We have created a community of learning here. This is a community of learning because we are learning together, just as Cynthia said. And I tell you that you have a mission. Of course, this is not a must. This is not obligatory. I need one pedagogical leader from each country to prepare a short video, a 1-minute video that will be shown the day of the webinar when we invite all the teachers who want to join our community of learning. I would like to have volunteers. I don't want to choose myself, but I really need at least one per country. It's a mission I know that you will take. Let me see if I can show you wait a minute. I will show you the scenario. So if you would like to volunteer, I would really appreciate it. Let me show you. I will share it with you then as well, but I can share it by a chat. There. Okay. So what is it that we need? We need the following. The classroom ideas at work. Although teachers work in different contexts, many of them face similar classroom challenges. For example, they may teach large classes, work with mixed levels, have students who are shy or reluctant to speak, need to motivate learners, or have limited time and resources. Do you have similar problems? Have you found solutions to some of them? If so, share them. Your colleagues could benefit a lot from hearing about what worked for you and your students. Let's help each other by sharing strategies that worked. How to do it? We will invite one pedagogical leader from each country, Chile, Colombia, Mexico, Peru, to record one short video clip sharing a successful classroom experience. In each video, you will share a brief classroom experience or idea that worked well in your teaching context and other teachers in CARIAP may try in their classrooms. The aim is to share one small, practical, realistic classroom ideas that CARIAP teachers can recognize as useful for their classrooms. Here you have the instructions. Oops. Then you have the structure, what was happening in my class, what did I try, what happened, some guidelines, and an example. I will also share the technical guidelines with you. Say what the technical... Okay, Shirley, who will you be representing? Which country?
Well, I have a question before that. Is this something that we have to work during this time, or when do we have to present it?
Well, They have asked me to have it ready for no later than the 30th of June.
No, my students are in holidays now, so I don't know. But I am on holidays.
But it's you? No, but you put your camera there and you talk to the camera.
Okay.
A video
Mm-hmm.
describing a classroom experience. You don't need to
Can
have
we?
classroom recording. Just
Okay, can I share, for example, what we have done this year with my group of teachers? Because this year we started the English club, and we
yes,
have seen that students feel more confident when talking, and because they are free to go there, and there are not grades, but it's just because they like it.
yes.
So I can talk about that. Yeah.
Why not?
So I can represent Colombia.
Okay, so there we have Shirley representing Colombia. Anybody else? Any other volunteer? Okay. I don't want to oblige you, but we need volunteers for the other 3 countries.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do we have to invite the teachers?
No, no.
Oh,
The only thing you have to do is place yourself in front of the cell phone and say, "Hello, my name is Sylvia and I'm from Argentina. I would like to share a strategy that helped more students participate in my English lessons. In my class, I noticed blah, 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 blah." Only 1 minute. But it has to be a successful classroom experience, something that really worked with you and your students, of course.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any volunteers? What about Chile? What about Mexico? Yes, Gerardo.
Okay, I can represent Mexico.
Okay, great.
I'm not very good at technology. That's where I hesitated a little bit.
Well, all the guidelines are here in this link. They tell you exactly what you need to do, how to place the cell phone, and I mean, everything is very clear because it's just talking to the cell phone, looking at the camera and saying, I mean, describing this successful classroom experience. So
Okay.
thank you, Gerardo. So Gerardo,
When is it due?
June the 30th.
June the 30th. Okay. Do we have to upload it anywhere?
I will send you, yes.
Okay.
I'll send
Okay.
you that information, yes. So Shirley, Gerardo, what about the rest? No more? No more people? All right, I need somebody for Chile and Peru. If you want, you can sleep on it, and tomorrow you let me know, okay? Well, people, Burley, yes, Burley. Which country will you be representing?
I will represent Peru.
Okay.
Really appreciate.
Thank you, Burley. Thank you very much. Then I will send you and the other 3 people a mail with more details. And Chile, well, what about Chile? Okay, I will allow you to go and have dinner, tea, or whatever you are looking forward to. Thank you so much. I promise that next meeting will be much shorter. Today with introduction and the getting to know each other, it took me longer, and I am really sorry for this. I do apologize, but now that we all know each other better, things will be easier as well. You will have more time to do the Google Classroom activities, and everything will run more smoothly. So thank you so much. I will make a post in the Google Classroom of the activities that we were not able to finish, so that you have all your evidence of learning. Good night and have a great week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for your help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Thank you. Goodbye.